Hey everyone, welcome to our call. Let's see, Darius, can you see my screen as well? All good?
I can see your screen, yes.
Fabulous. All right, very cool. So everyone, we are in our third, see it's all new here, I'm actually even creating a whole new template and everything for this. Our third Emerald 3 group, which is a brand new group, and welcome and congratulations to everyone on this group, because basically you all came from different groups, but basically have gone, pretty much everyone I think has gone from enterprise up to Emerald level, where we follow the same format, but we actually will be covering more around how to scale your business and how to get the right team in place and how to really just get green, blue level, right? Which is really the next stage where many of you are now moving towards. So it's going to be an exciting call, and some of you get to meet each other as well, because we have the Crystal Circle conference coming up, and we also have our event in London if you're going to be there as well. So some really cool stuff happening, and I will be, if we have time, sharing some of the things that we've been doing at kind of green, blue level within Entrepreneurs Institute and our Dynamics 3.0 launch and all that kind of stuff as well. So it's going to be a great call, and you're going to get to meet some pretty cool people here as well. So we have got right now Tracy, Jeanette, Sarah, Ramo, Max, Lillian, Leslie, Jeremy, Jamie, Caroline, and some of you know each other because you were on the same course, but I think the vast majority of people on this call you may not recognize other than seeing them on Facebook, just because you've all been in different groups up until this point, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start, I'm going to go in alphabetical order. Each person, what I'm going to do, so that we don't spend a lot of time on introductions or anything like that, is I'm going to do a quick intro of your business. I'm going to be using the links that you've already put on here. You'll see that on this new Emerald Circle, even your past history is all in here. So you can actually go and have a look at what other people, you can see where they came from, and you can see basically what they were kind of like grappling with 6 months ago, what they're up to now, what's evolved, which really, really helps, right? And you can even be looking at that as we're on this call to get familiarized with the different people on the call, because there will be some of you who will also find real value working with each other as well. Carrie Ann is, I can see, is not at this point on the call, but she will be listening to this recording. So I am going to still include her and give you her link as well. So let me do this. I'm going to get onto Facebook, and we will go to Crystal Circle group. And on Emerald, on the photos, find the Emerald group. So I'll give you the links, and I'll post them in here as well. So here's the Emerald ones. And I was talking, by the way, this thing, because we had our other Emerald Circle course yesterday, this whole thing about the stock market going up and down, I was talking about if you have investments in the stock market, we were talking about this just the other week, we are overdue a major correction. It happens every 6 years or so. So it happened in 91, 97, it happened in 2002, happened in 2008, 9, and it's now due, and it's all just like starting. The tremors are starting. So just be aware that while there's no guarantee there's going to be a crash, everything's pointing in that direction at the moment, and I've definitely taken all my money out for now. But let's go and let's see who we have here. So we have Anne, who's actually entered some info in here. I'm going to come back to Carrie Ann's at the end and add hers in to key points. I'll cover highlights and then give you a chance to share a bit on that. We're going to integrate them all, as you all are familiar with that process. Carrie Ann's business is Katenga Food. She's really grown that in South Africa into, she actually got her new website up and running as part of Crystal Circle, where she has got people in other parts of Africa buying from her South African sources and all sorts of food. She's got hotels that she works with, and basically, countries which are importing. And this is her new website that she has up here as well. Explains it all. So here is Katenga Foods. I'm going to give Carrie Ann's link in here. A link. Here we go. And most people also are on, so you can find them here as well. Cool. Look, you got your place. Carrie Ann, that's awesome. Very cool. Okay, so we're going to come back to Carrie Ann's later, because she might actually come onto the call as well. We're going to come to Caroline next, and she's going to be the first. She's going to be sharing as well. Caroline has a business called Sales Scene, which is all focusing at digital marketing and supporting companies and organizations based in the UK. And Caroline actually has been out to iLab and been a mentor here as well, and actually organized or facilitated a whole iLab as well, which is very cool. And if you're looking for some good digital marketing expertise, then Caroline's the person who does it really well. I have a really slow internet for some reason. I'm not sure why it's so slow. Because of the ramblings. It is. I might try and switch that in a second, but that's why it's taking a while to load this up. But it's coming. It's coming. And I'm going to post it in here as well. And what Caroline has shared in here is lots of interest in new business with our Paralympians and opportunities to work with international athletics at high level. We're talking about this, like how do you actually build in also celebrity in terms of how you magnify multiplying business, basically. Sales team continues to attract and win new business, or prospects and trainees are worth to know is 10 times profiled now, which is awesome. Definitely recommend anyone who's building a team, or you're building a team, to use those systems, and our close rate has increased significantly as a result. And getting great feedback from training sessions as adapting delivery style to these profiles. I've been able to take time out over the summer as business now operating much with more without my input, which is awesome. And then you've got some questions which are kind of around this as well. So I'd love you to share, Caroline, with everyone just what is happening around the whole Paralympian side, and then we'll jump right into these questions here as well. So you are unmuted. Hi, Caroline.
Roger. So, sorry, your internet
Welcome
is really
to the Emerald Circle.
You're sounding really distorted, just to let you know.
Am I?
Yes, very sorry. So, can you say the question again for me?
Roger, we lost you. We can't hear what you are saying.
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yes.
I tried to switch Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you are back on, Roger.
Okay, sorry, Caroline. I dived off when you came on, but you can hear me better now.
I didn't hear the question. Could you repeat it for me, please?
Okay. I said, welcome to Emerald Circle, and then I said, could you share a bit, before we get onto the questions, just about what is happening with the whole Paralympian business?
So, thank you, by the way, for being on Emerald. It's great. And the Paralympic business is really just another marketing exercise for me, but it's about working with much higher profile clients, which in itself brings more market attraction to me. So
Yeah.
we've got 8 of the biggest names in UK Paralympic sport who we're creating sustainable employment opportunities for post their athletics career. And most of that is around motivational speaking and brand ambassador work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about partnering with Danny Crates, who is a Paralympian in the UK, and we've brought on 8 of the biggest names and actually are now attracting even more of the Paralympic names to come and work with us, so that we're promoting them to businesses and corporates to go out and motivate their troops and show how Paralympic values and international athletics mindset can create winning businesses and winning results.
And is this working directly with an agency or with the Paralympics, or just individually with each person?
So we're creating an agency, if you like, a speaking agency that tracks corporate inquiries, and we've had lots of inquiries, but we've also had a bit of a spanner in the works, but I'll speak to you about that later.
All right. Wow, okay, that sounds cool. And what kicked all this off? Was it one athlete that kicked it off, or what happened?
Yeah, one athlete that we just got lots of results for. So he came on board as a client. We were promoting him. His website traffic went through the roof. He was on a British primetime TV program, which we used social media to leverage for him.
What's the name of his website?
So much. Sorry?
What's the name of his website?
It's dannycrates.co.uk.
Danny Crates. Is that it?
That's it. .co.uk.
Okay, sorry, got that one. Oh, yeah.
He's coming to FFYB, Roger.
Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Okay, very cool. So he saw all sorts of traffic, everything happening, and now you're basically building it for others, and that's a really cool niche. That's really cool. Okay, here's the site.
and exciting. Yeah, really exciting. And I have to say, I do get a bit overexcited at times when I'm meeting some of my absolute sporting heroes.
Fantastic. Okay, good job. Very cool. Okay, so let's get on to your questions then. You've got questions here. What words do you associate with international level athletes? So you're talking about wordsmithing here, are you?
I need your creative brain, Roger. Basically, what happened, the business was called the Inspired Paralympian.
Yeah.
And despite all my diligence with trademarks and stuff, it's come to light through British Paralympic Association that we're not allowed to use the word Paralympian in our business or in our URL due to Paralympic associated rights.
Okay.
The upshot, I mean, that was a downside because it was a bit scary when we got a letter from their solicitors telling us to remove it immediately. But actually, the upshot is that if we come back to them with a new name, they will, number one, help us copyright the website to keep us compliant, and then we'll pass over all of their inquiries to us for speakers. So every cloud has a silver lining. It's just we're really struggling with the name because we can't use Paralympian, and para-athlete isn't as exciting or as people don't identify it with as much. So we just need a name so we can get cracking with that business again.
Got it. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. And you got another question. At what stage does it make sense to bring people back into employment versus outsourcing? Where's that happening in the business right now?
So when I came to iLab last year, I had a team of 5 that were all employed by me.
Yes.
Realised I wanted to have a location independent business, realised I needed some freedom and it was tying me down. So I actually went back and over the course of 3 months helped them to secure employment everywhere else, and then some of them were outsourcing to us.
Yeah.
But as the business grows, do we I mean, I've got a business that I feel like I could keep outsourcing forever, and this is in the sales scene area, by the way.
Yeah.
I've got a business and a model that could be outsourced forever, but I'm wondering, is that, number one, profitable long term? Number two, I'm worried about that we won't then keep good people because they'll get other opportunities.
Yeah.
And it's just as the business grows and we get more and more inquiries, we can carry on taking more outsourced people, but is that a practical way to run the business, or should we be bringing some of them back into full-time employment?
Got it. Fantastic. Thank you, Caroline, for that. This is green level 1, right? This is the difference. Yellow level is when you're like, hey, cool, I don't have to employ anyone and I can do everything myself. And it's like, oh, I've got to do everything myself. And not even doing everything myself, but exactly that. The business can't grow without you because it still requires you in the pivot in the middle, right? And so green level is all about how you establish your enterprise, which is about the core team such that you don't need to be there and everything runs itself long term, not just like, as long as the contractors are there, but long term. There's actually a culture, there's a team, that is self-propagating. People hire people, and it isn't requiring you to do any of those things. It just evolves and grows in itself, right? So that's exactly where Caroline's at. And quite a few of you are at that exactly the same situation. So it's going to be a good question, good conversation. Okay, cool. So we're going to come back to Caroline's questions and some answers in a bit. We're going to come over next to, we have got Jeremy on the line right now. We have Jamie on the line. Where's Jamie? Jamie further down. That's really interesting. I don't know. Wait, hang on a second. Where's Jamie? Oh, there's Jamie. Ah, okay. So further down for some reason. Okay, wait, I'm navigating here. Under J, D, J. Oh, okay, it's because Deborah and Jeremy together here. Okay, I get it. Okay, so I'm going to start, well, just so I don't get confused. I'm already confused. I'll start with, I think I'll start with Jamie here. So here is Jamie's site. Was his personal site anyway, and you can see what he's running here around the business, what he's looking to do. Let's put Jamie on here, and he hasn't yet put any highlight or anything in there, but he does have some questions, and his challenge is focusing at securing speaking opportunities right now. So here's Jeremy's site and his page, and Jeremy, I'm going to get you to come on and show the main questions you have here. So, hello, Jeremy. Hello, Jamie. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Right. That's great. Welcome to the call.
Thank you.
Yeah. So your questions are largely around, well, you're talking about speaking opportunities. Is speaking the main driver to generating the business right now?
It is. Yeah, definitely is speaking. And the work I've been doing, based on our introductory call there the other month, was looking at creating more of a niche compared to what I'm currently doing. What I see is the same as many other people.
Yeah.
So want to specialize or create that niche in the manufacturing sector, growth-oriented manufacturing companies. But just got questions around, as I go to do that right now, if you see my website, it's quite like it talks about the classic pain points for business owners being time, team, and money, but it's not specific to the niche that I'm looking to develop. So my question to you is, it might be a bit simplistic, but do I need to change all of my website and marketing paraphernalia to start testing this niche, or can I go out and test in some way without having
Hmm.
to spend force on marketing?
Yeah. Got it. Okay, cool. All right. And at the moment, do you have any speaking engagements or workshops specifically for the manufacturing sector which are lined up already?
Um, Not that, no, I've got speaking opportunities lined up that are general business, and I have a presentation that I can do to the manufacturing niche, but it's basically would be the same as the one I'm doing. I would just change the language around it,
Yeah.
make it more specific, like, just tailor the wording so it would speak to that audience more clearly.
Yeah. Okay, got it. And what at the like your marketing person you've got, what are they actually focusing at doing? What have you got them tasked to do right now?
They are reaching out to associations and organisations looking for opportunities to speak.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But generic. I mean, like, or have you said go
Yeah,
focus
yeah,
on
I
that?
haven't. I've intentionally not gone after any of the manufacturing associations yet until I'm clear that I'm presenting myself in the right way.
Yeah. Got it.
But it's basically going to chambers of commerce and that sort of thing.
And what would you say if you were to go to some of your manufacturing clients? What would you say they would say is what you uniquely deliver to them, would choose to work with you as opposed to other people?
I think they would probably say, what's unique to me? Uh, I don't know. I can answer that one off. I mean, I've got plenty of things I would say, but I'm not sure that I would say they're unique to me.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Well, think about that for a bit, right? It's like how are you uniquely solving their problem in a way that others can't? Because that's the key. That's the key to actually having other people then wanting to work with you for exactly the same reason, right?
Yeah.
But I'll add more. I'll add more into that as well. But like absolutely fundamental. But 100% what Jamie's doing right now, which is especially in a very crowded space like mentoring or coaching or training, to be able to niche in an area is so critical to start with. I'll give you an example of exactly how we're doing that this weekend right here in Vision Villas, which is where I'm at right now, as an example of that, right? Niche and how to start to really make sure you're doing that, especially if you're already known for just more generic stuff anyway. So that will be key element. Okay, cool. All right, next I'm going to come over to, we had Jeremy here, Jeremy and Deborah together, and they are in Australia, and they have got their accounting company. So here is Jeremy and Deborah, and they've got niche and focus that they're going for as well, which is more than the entrepreneurial side. So if you are looking for a good accountant, then these guys are cool. And here's their website, as you can see at the moment, all the info. And let us actually bring them on board with the questions here as well, right? About to complete a sale of 3% of our 15.5% interest in associated businesses, which will free up hundreds of grand cash. Organize and participate in a syndicate to take up half of $1 million share subscription in a technology company. Hosted a B1G1 event. That's cool. All done. That's great. And also use the time for team performance review. So you guys are all starting to do that, which is awesome. And there's questions here which are largely around. Yeah, I'm going to kind of squeeze this in because it's a bit. Yeah, how do I do this? Okay. Let's do this in a bit. And question is, Wow, I'm going to make this bigger because some of these questions are long questions. Because like we can't take any more work with the existing team. So this is a people issue, very similar to what Caroline's talking about as well. Like when's the right time? So we'll get into that a bit, and scheduling new products. So get into a bit about that whole growth management side as well, right? So all growth type stuff. Jeremy, you're on. Hi there.
Hey, Roger.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Hi, Roger. I'm here too.
Oh, hi Deborah. Cool. Awesome.
Alphabetical.
I just want to, I got to give a shout out to Jamie as well, who we already work with, because he is in Canada at the moment, so he must be up really late at night.
Oh, wow. Oh, fantastic. Awesome. Okay, very cool. So tell us about the question around on the people side.
It just feels at the moment as though we're getting so many opportunities for growth in coming from all sorts of different directions. Some of them I'm thinking, well, who am I going to give this to? And it's partly the struggle is because we're in transition to an outsourcing model, outsourcing overseas for quite a lot of our compliance work. And so normally we might say, okay, we're getting new clients, let's add some team members. But we don't want to add any more team members in our office because in 12 months' time, they all need to be doing different things anyway, as it is. So we don't need more people to be finding that for, because in 12 months' time, a lot of our compliance work will be done by the offshore team. But it has to be a steady progression to the offshore team. We can't dump it all at once. It has to be over a period of 12 months.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's kind of like how do we just not burn these opportunities that are coming up? We don't want to put someone else on the current team. We're certainly, personally, it's very hard to stay in flow for me because while we're in that sort of really busy phase, but do we just sort of push through till we complete this transition to the outsourcing team?
Yeah.
So that then we can get everybody doing the right things.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Cool. Okay. So almost exactly the same as what Karen's talking about as well, and the balance and what's the criteria pretty much for choosing that. You got the second thing here, struggling with scheduling new products and ideas as you're in a period of transition. Is that pretty much the same issue, or are you talking about something different there?
Yeah, it's expanding on that same issue. That's Deb's version, I think, of the same question.
We're asking the same question in different ways, Roger.
Ah, yes, I got it. Okay, cool. Very good. Okay.
It's a bit different though.
Yes. All right. And then you got can still run every promotion project. Well, how does it feel to you at the moment? Does it feel like at the moment the still energies working, or do you think that you need more creative input?
We are very, very low, almost no blaze in our team. And I look around at who's going to run different promotions that we come up with, which is part of the growth that we're trying to fit in as well. And I guess looking at a combination of not just the energies, but the skill levels and the lighthouse levels of people in the team. I don't have too many to choose from to run each promotion.
We actually had a lot of accumulators.
Yeah. Yeah, which is pretty normal for an accounting company. You don't want them all the stars.
Yeah.
I don't want to be creative either.
Okay, cool. All right, okay. So, so I'll add to that as well. And sometimes it's partnerships where you're actually partnering with others. I mean, I've seen some accounting companies that are partnered with legal companies. You know, lawyers tend to be more Blaze and Dynamo, but they're both professions that most companies need. And sometimes those kind of links where you've actually got partnerships where one's referring to the other and vice versa ends up doubling your business very quickly. So sometimes partnerships actually allows you to add in the different energies as well. So keep that in mind, but I'll add more around the whole people side as we go forward as well. But that element, I'm just going to put that down here. Partner your way to team. like, we will always partner with people first to learn something new, right? And we'll always or bring experts in that we're learning something from, but we'll always have someone there that we're actually having as our key leading learner. So like we've just taken on a guy, Daryl Eves, who's growing all of our online side, or we had Sotec doing all of our mobile tech, but now we do it all in-house because we learn everything we need to learn, and now we can do it cheaper, faster with that learning. So fundamentally, we put at the core of our business being a learning organization where we absorb what we need to learn, we then take it in-house, and then that becomes our asset, because at the end of the day, your true asset in your business as you're growing is going to be your intangible aspects, right? Your IP, your knowledge base. And obviously, if you've contracted everything out, you're not building any of that, which means you're not really building value in your business at a level that allows you to sell it or get investment for it. So keep that in mind. Say, well, how much is the knowledge base of the business growing as opposed to my personal knowledge or my contractors, right? That could leave with all that knowledge tomorrow. And who's owning that? Like, who in the team, what knowledge are they owning, and that they're growing and that they're evolving in such a way that it's kept in the databases or kept in the systems that get put together, all of that as well. So we'll get into more of that in a moment. Next, I'm going to come over to, we have Leslie. Leslie hasn't written anything yet. I'll to those people who haven't written anything, because it'll give you a chance to write something, because it makes it much faster for us to cover things. So Leslie, I will come back to you, but if you are able to jump in here and add some things, that would be awesome. I'm just going to make sure that I keep your name there, which I've got. And same with Carrie Ann. If she joins the call, we'll have her share a little later as well. Going to come over next. We have got Lillian here. And Jason and Lillian have a company in Malaysia, which where they're building a brand here, which we're going to hear more about in a moment. And their company here is all focused at the education market and sports and fitness. And as you can see here, Yuba Sports, name of the company. And they've got a school where they actually are contracted to do all the sports, and they're actually creating these sports camps and their own product brand. We've talked about the importance at Green Level of having product brands, and it's what a number of you, it's what Caroline's talking about right now, is what Jamie's looking to focus at and grow, which we're going to talk a bit about. And it's what allows you to create an ongoing flow of income and partnerships once you really focus not at a company brand anymore, but product brands, which actually allow you to grow. So this is Yuba Sports here, and I'm just going to make a quick link here to Lillian and Jason's company. We've got a couple of questions on here. Coleman's progress on learning and launching the 8 Minutes Body Blast website, which is going to be all about these 8-minute exercises, and product and opening of new international school and company to manage the sports facilities. That's cool. I'm going to give you a chance. I can see there's no questions at the moment, but I'm going to give you a chance to say hi and just share how it's going there. Lillian, how are you? Hello? Can you hear us? Is that me or is that Lillian? Can you hear me, Darius?
Yes, I can hear you well, Roger.
Okay. Lillian, I think you maybe have stepped out for a cup of coffee or something, or maybe your microphone's not working. You can always post something in here if you are listening, or a comment. And if you do have any immediate questions, post them in here as well. But welcome to the call, and I'm guessing you're just listening silently at this point. Okay, so I'm just going to put a note here, school, and then also the product brand. Minutes is growing. Okay, cool. Next I'm going to come to Max, right? So we have got Max here, who, as I just had here, just before we get to that side, Max has a company, Maxtel Software, as you can see here, and he is really focusing, as you see here, on becoming. He already basically is doing the system side for McDonald's, and wants to be in New Zealand, and wants to be the first choice McDonald's franchise in Oceania, which basically is the whole area here. Let me open the website here. I'm going to open another page. Too many tabs coming on here. So here's Maxtel, summing up. And as you can see here, he said all 127 McDonald's New Zealand franchisees are using our full software. Yay! This is a really cool story, by the way. Max was working with some McDonald's franchisees franchisees. And then McDonald's said, no, we can do a better job ourselves, and took it all off him, and then basically didn't do a better job. And so now he's getting the job back again, which is really cool. So 12 months ago, there were less than 20 sites. So he went right down to that. Now he's gone right up 127 again, which is awesome. Great to see what can happen when policies are changed up high and choice is restored to the franchisee. The franchisees wanted to use the software all along. Corporate sites are now also keen to make the move, with final straw being the need to support the new security of ours agreement with unions. So that's very, very cool. And obviously meaning a lot of businesses coming your way as well. So what Max does is he actually integrates all of the back office stuff with Xero. So that's obviously the accounts package, and then makes it super simple. And we're talking about product brands. Here's a perfect example where Max is actually saying, I don't have to figure out all the systems and all the software. I'll just work with Xero, but I'll then package on top of that all the key stuff, which is going to be tailor-made for first of all McDonald's, but actually we're now wanting to grow. And you can see here for franchisees, for accountants, how it all links together. So we can actually start evolving and growing this off this first base. So in the same way that you've got, someone like Jamie saying, well, how would I get into a manufacturing niche? You can see how much easier it is when you've actually got the case studies and the focus from your happy clients already on what you do specifically. And really, this is what someone like Jamie will end up having in terms of here's a solution specifically for manufacturing. And you can see here, even saying online back-office solutions for McDonald's with full Xero, it is like 100% focused on McDonald's right now. But this will actually evolve also into all franchisees. So it's a really, really cool niche here. I think it's awesome. There's a question which is really about managing growth. You're hearing there's a bit of a theme on this. And this here is about prioritizing on time. So Max, I'd love you to share a bit. Well, first of all, congratulations. And then I'd love you to share a bit about where you're seeing most of your time being spent at the moment. Hey, Max.
Hey, Roger, and rest of the group.
You're really quiet at the moment, Max. I don't know if that's your...
Sorry, can you hear me any better this time?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Okay, sorry, my connection isn't so great. So
Oh, that's much better. No, that's good now. That's cool.
Okay, yeah, well, I've got a wonderful problem. 12 months ago, I would have been very grateful for this quality problem of having too much work. So, and I think it's more just adapting to that, because I've had about 5 years of relatively steady state trying to find business as it declined, trying to replace some of the business I'd lost through McDonald's. Now it's back with a vengeance, and not only have I got the franchisees back, corporate wants to come on board too, and a pile of extra projects are starting to pile up. I've got a contract just started for a 3-month period, plus I've got a new employee starting the week after next. And just a lot of things just seem to have fingers and, well, a lot of projects are on the go at the moment, and I'm just having a little bit of trouble trying to decide which ones focus on, because I keep starting something and getting interrupted to something else and interrupted to something else, but when I look back at them I can't see easily which ones I should drop.
Yeah, got it. And at the moment, how strong is your delivery team and implementation team at the moment? Is that where there's a challenge where you have to get right into delivery as well, or is that part the easy bit?
Well, it's a bit of the challenge because they've been used to operating at a certain level, and now the volume has picked up so much that the business as usual is stretching them. Plus, we've got new projects to roll out as well. Yeah. And they're telling me now, hey, don't give us any more good news. We're having trouble coping, so we need to increase what the team can cope with before we can sort of add more stuff to it.
Yeah,
so hence, getting a couple of people on board, but it always sucks more time before they start actually saving time.
Yeah, got it. And at the moment, what would you say your percentage is breaking up between actually being in there delivering as opposed to out there doing the business development side?
Well, my guess at the moment is I'm only spending about 20% of my time on the on the development side, and that's the thing that I sort of dearly think I should be spending quite a bit more time on at present. But if I don't do some of the delivery part, then I'm compromising the existing business just until the resources grow enough to cope.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, And how do you schedule your week at the moment?
Rather poorly. It tends to be more interrupt driven.
Okay, got it.
And partially also now because corporate's involved. It's amazing how 38 corporate sites take more resources to look after than 127 franchisee sites.
Wow. Well, how much time do you put in with each of your clients? And like, what do they require from you? Do you need to have someone on site, or is everything done off site? Are you actually processing, or is it all done automatically?
Most of the stuff is online, done off-site. We provide tools to all of them and provide support on those tools. Then we also do something like a payroll bureau and accounting bureau service for monthly account side of things, which that's a bit more time intensive of it. But predominantly we're a product development company, an integrator. So we take all the stuff from all the different systems and put it all together for them and produce the reports for them. So when things are going well and then we don't have to put much extra time in. But when they're in a state of change, that's where a lot of time is sucked. So we've had a whole part of people come back which needed a bit of reorientation, training, refreshing in how our systems work. Plus, we've got this major union change to do with the security of hours, getting rid of all those zero-hour contracts. And that has quite serious implications into how scheduling and payroll is done. So we're having to do product development and training to do with that.
Yeah, got it. Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, okay, Max, I've just put a little G2 here because this is all about first stage of greening, which is all about establish your enterprise. It's like, what are we actually doing here, and what is it that allows the company to grow even without me? And then G2 is refine your rhythm, which is all about how do you actually set it up so you're doing the right thing within the business, so the business has got a rhythm that's behind it. And that's why I asked about the weekly schedule, because it's time to really start getting that. Because if you have the right rhythm, it's amazing what you can do, right? Like President of the United States or President, Prime Minister of the UK, they've got a rhythm which is down to like every 50 minutes throughout the week, and they can run an entire country, right? Because they've actually got this way that they can make sure everything gets tapped in, and then if there's an emergency, they can just drop all of it, and they're actually quite fine to get on a plane and fly somewhere, and everything still, is able to move on, right? And all big companies work the same way, so it's about designing that in a way that allows that to happen. So we'll get onto that in a moment. I saw there's some notes from Lillian. She kind of said, sorry, Roger, I think my mic is not working. You guys can't hear me, so that's true, but it's good to know you're on. So, and then if there are any like immediate questions or anything that pops up, you can just drop it in here, right? And I'll see it and I'll answer that as well. Well, obviously you can do it on the spreadsheet as well, or even just any little update you'd like me to share, you can do that too. So next we're gonna come over to Ramo. So we have Ramatse here from South Africa. He has got a groovy company here, which is all about digital marketing. But more than digital marketing, it's actually all about innovative marketing, everything from events through to digital, through to branding, and I really like his website as well. It's really nicely designed. So it's not a responsive website, but it is a really strong, kind of corporate website. If you're looking to check in on someone and see, is this someone we want to have do our digital stuff for us, or have it do our marketing stuff for us, right? So it's just about to come out. And in the meantime, let me just give a link to this. Here we go. Okay. There it is. And there's his website there. So here it is. We design stuff that matters. We celebrate design and push the boundaries of what we create. And here are a whole bunch of his different clients. And here's where they got started. And here's all the people. I love the way this does this. It's so cool. Okay. All right. So Rava's got an update here. He has said on the back of the last feedback received from Roger, we're focused very much on our pipeline and target 20% net profit. We've cleared 22% for August. That is so awesome. So Rama was like, hey, I'm growing, but I'm not making money. So like you got back to focusing on the profit side, which is very cool. And like that, I think that's awesome. You're doing it by the percentage, like 22, 23, and it's growing. So it's great. And then you've got some questions which are very much green questions around team. So I'd love you to share a little about that. But also like you to share, because this was a focus you put in, Ramo, to just share with everyone what you said to the team, how you got everyone focused, and then how that then formed the profitability of the business just by focusing as well. Hey, Ramo.
Hey, Roger. Hi, guys. Yeah, well, I think, Roger, to your question, so on the back of my discussion with you, I think we realized that there was a lot of um, stuff on the client side that we had perhaps let go too much of. So we changed down a gear as the owners of the business. We got closer to our clients in terms of existing clients. We then found out why perhaps in fact, we found out why we're letting a lot of the net profit go. We just weren't managing those projects well. We really got the team on board in terms of their utilization, so ensuring that the guys were working all the time they work. And that really got us, sort of steady climbing. Obviously, on the back of it, created a situation where personally I found, losing a lot of my time that I was previously spending sort of on the front end of the business. I was really kind of, finding myself a lot more often in the back end, but it did the job, and it was the right focus for us at the time. So yeah.
Very cool, awesome, very good. And now you're looking at the team. So you're talking about what season your business or industry is in. What do you feel it's in right now?
I think we have two opposing views. I think that Tanaka's future is reliant on a strong innovation strategy that we push behind. So I believe we're in a spring season, and I think we need a spring energy. My partners feel that we can't afford to pursue ideas at the cost of the business we've established. So they feel that it's time to consolidate, and they feel that we're in a winter season. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you looking for a CEO right now?
I think what we realize is we need the conversation is back around the table. So we aren't actively looking, but we are definitely discussing whether a change of the guard from that point of view is best for the business.
Got it. Okay. Cool. All right. Awesome.
That's my question. Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Okay. So I'll get on to those, but that's for some of you, you're going to find that maybe in the next year you have some key people on board that are running a lot of the stuff you're doing right now, and you're freed up to really start evolving and building the business. What would that look like? And yeah, I have some things I'm going to share in Roma's case. As a creator profiles on the call, this is always what happens when you get to green. You sometimes get itchy feet as well because you want to start new things up, and other people are saying, but you've got to get solid now and all this kind of stuff. So how do you play that game is a really, really important thing, right? Okay, so next we have got Sarah here. Sarah has a company in New Zealand, which is called Team One. And here, let me just post it up here. Where's my screen's gone? Okay, I'm busy now. Okay, so this is Sarah's company. And here it comes. Here it is, right? Team One. With all the info on here. Unleashing Human Potential. Sarah's company, put it in here as well. And her update is two major clients very happy with their work, have referred us to several other potentially major clients, remapped the whole business, discovered many missed opportunities in the process, and identified and scoped 5 projects from this. So that's very cool. It'd be interesting. I'd love to hear a process you did on that, Sarah. Was it on, with your whole team? How much time did you take to put it together? That would be good to know. And then we can jump into some of these questions, which again are team questions, right? So over to you, Sarah. Welcome to the call. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Hi, how is everybody this evening? It is in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So in terms of how I remapped everything, it was kind of a process that I did by myself because I felt like I needed to get an overall handle on the whole business. And I'm, quite a visual person, so I sat there basically drawing up mind maps of everything that was going on in the business. So I've mapped out all the roles, I've mapped out all the tasks that we do, I've mapped them across the different profiles and who we've got that fills all of those different profiles, just trying to maximize the strengths of the team. And yeah, as a result of that, started looking at what's our offering, how are we maximizing our offering, that sort of thing, and just, yeah, lots of opportunities flowed out of it.
Fantastic. Very cool. Brilliant. And if you would name one opportunity or one thing you noticed or big realization as you were going through that, what would that be?
I think the overriding thing that I've really noticed is we have relied on our core products far too much, our core services. And so we leave a lot of money on the table because basically our clients will go to other training providers for stuff that we can provide to them. And yeah, in terms of both training like programs, but also products and that sort of thing as well. You know, we could have a whole suite of products that will follow on from our training programs, and we've just never done it. So
yeah,
embarrassing,
I think
but true.
that is super cool for you to notice. I think that's one of the biggest things generally as you're growing the business right now is what's the lifetime value of a customer, right? Like once you've actually got them on board and you've had the effort of finding them and giving them service is what is the next thing they can do, and just like extending on for that lifetime of the customer, the services and products they really want, you know, that can easily double revenues without having to actually go find any new customers at all, which is great. Okay, great. So you've got some questions which are around team. How do I maximize my star in the business? And also, we're very low on tempo energy in the team. What should I be wary of? Well, actually, you just mentioned one of them, which is like, you know, ongoing service and support on that. Are you spending a lot of your time out there on the marketing side at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. A big portion of my time is working on that.
Right. Okay, cool. All right, so I can answer a bit on that. And what about this question about what often feels like a split personality being creative mechanic? Where's that showing up for you?
I think it's around the fact that I get very distracted with creating new things and merely going into it, but then I get almost paralyzed by the fact that the mechanic in me wants it to be perfect, and before I even, you know, get it out to the market, kind of thing.
Okay, cool, awesome. Okay, Sarah, I'm going to come back on some of that. I'm also going to make a distinction for everybody about the profile at yellow versus green, right? Because there is actually a big difference as you move up as to how you use your profile as well. Touch on that as well as a key thing. Now we have got Jeanette, who I'm going to be introducing as well in a moment, just like with Leslie. But Jeanette, I see you also haven't posted anything in this link at the moment, so I'm going to come back to you in a moment. I can see Tim isn't on the call. He actually says it here. Something that always causes clashes at board meetings, but can I please answer the question? So I'm going to get into that for Tim, and I know Tim will be listening to the recording, so I've made a note of you here as well, and I'll get to that once we come by Tracy and Kim. Tracy here has, let's get Tracy's website up and running here. So here is her website. We'll open the tracykeller.com site, and she is an artist who loves painting animals and does it in a very unique way, and has really been involving her business a lot with experiments on Facebook. You know, ran a competition, ran some new experiments on some of the things that we've been talking about. And here you can see a whole bunch of things like now being created. His this is cool Superstar series. Let me come over to what Tracy has mentioned here. Yeah, let me actually take that one here as well. It's Tracy's site. Okay, so Tracy has said here, we've engaged the service of Brett Jarman. So Brett was on Tracy's enterprise circle. He has a company called helpmeleverage.com. So if any of you are looking for CRM systems and so on, he does really good system thinking. Brett's helping us leverage and optimize the business, gives us a promotional rhythm, improves our follow-up processes. That's all cool. So that's like we're talking about, like partnering up with people that have got the areas that you may not have on the square, and then can actually go to the detail stuff and so on. One of the very, very best ways to get started on something. And then what often happens is that you might have someone who comes in as a contractor, and then that person ends up eventually coming and actually joining you full-time as well, and that's also a possibility. But we'll get back to that. Currently working on infrastructure, so that's all good steel stuff. We've also received our first orders through Wayfair. So Wayfair is a company which, a website, which basically has good traffic. Where'd it go? Oh gosh, look at all this. All right, okay. So first order through Wayfair, here it is. Okay, Tracy's original art is now available in Bryce Art Gallery in Christchurch, shortly available in Adelaide. Have taken a huge leap of faith on future sales and have ordered another warehouse full of new prints, new range, new flavors, 9 months early in anticipation of increased sales. Wow! Bring on the almost passive income. So this is where actually now it's about creating prints and creating products, which mean that the designs can then multiply while Tracy's magnified, right? That's the plan. Refer TK Artist of Life fan page. So that is on social media. Let's have a look at that. Artist for Life. Yeah, that's on here. Facebook. Artist for Life. Artist of Life. There it is. And cool. All right. Groovy. So it's all happening. This is the gallery. This is the, yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's come over to the questions, and I'll give you a chance to share them, Tracy, here. So you are on. Hi, Tracy.
G'day, Roger. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, we're awesome as usual. Kim is here with me as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had a fairly cruisy month, and so the questions are maybe, I hope, not too dull and boring. So our first one is, we're looking at global expansion now, and Brett Jarman is hugely excited about what we are creating and the potential. And so for global, it's just which country are we going to target next? We have a fan base in quite a few countries, so we just kind of thought, should we go for population for the country? So we kind of thought UK or USA.
Right.
And it's almost like just shooting a dart at a dartboard. So if you could maybe offer some suggestions there on where we go.
I can do that, but let me also ask a question around not the market, but your own preference. Out of US and UK, which would you prefer to spend more time in? Not that you have to spend, yeah.
Well, I want to live in San Diego for a while.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right, that answers your question.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. But no, I'll elaborate more on it as well. But that's cool. And then you got this question also. We did a lot of charities, and I realized we could get more promo PR from this. Any suggestions? Which are the main charities that you are most focused at?
Well, we have three core charities that we support every year, and I think to date, over the last 5 years, we've raised almost $200,000 for the specific charities. But what I'm finding now is that, because, we actually feel that our purpose is also to give, and especially with the print range, because we can actually now afford to donate prints to charities. A lot of smaller charities are coming forward. Hence, we're finding about $1,000 a month are now going towards, $1,000 a week are now going towards smaller charities. So I'm asking them to hashtag and Facebook, but I'm just seeing that original sales are now coming from our initial, we want to give, and now that's now resulting in people actually saying, well, I saw that you donated a print to a sister, which is domestic violence in Australia, and they want to purchase an original. So clearly there's an opportunity to maybe promote with integrity in that area. And it's just an area we've always never expected any promotion from, but possibly maybe we can actually gain some momentum for that as well. Hence the question.
Awesome. Very cool. Fantastic. Thank you, Tracy. I'll answer on both of those. That's cool. And I can see that Jeanette has posted a bunch of things down here, so we're going to come back to Jeanette and Leslie right now. She said, in my spreadsheet, I'm in the wrong group, ? I feel about this in another group, I think, ? Okay, so Jeanette, you might have put it in the old enterprise one, which means it's probably still there. This is the link to the Emerald one. It says Emerald Circle 3 at the top. And the link, I'll actually give it to you right here as well. You can actually just go and click on that link. So I think most of us are on there as well, so that's a new one there. Okay, so you actually just put your email in there as well. But it's in another group, I think. Okay, so that's probably where it is. It's not allowing me to type. That's kind of weird. Can you, Darius, just make sure that Jeanette has got the permission to enter stuff in here? She's got JeanetteBasson@gmail.com.
Yes, we have been chatting, so we'll sort it out.
All right, fabulous. Okay, cool. So in any event, let's come over to so Jeanette's business is all she's focused on education, uh, and she is doing some pretty awesome things right now. Where she took a bit of advice I gave a while back in terms of how she managed her finances, and then also put together a Spread the Happiness Award, which has now been picked up and used within schools. And she started creating a whole bunch of products, given that she really was just selling her time before. And now she's got all sorts of products that she sells, and that includes her Play-Doh, Disco Dough, and a bunch of other things as well that she's done to really make teaching engaging and to basically spread happiness in schools in really fun and exciting ways during different classes. So she actually teaches the teachers and then now runs this whole Spread the Happiness campaign through schools that sign up for it, pay money for the actual certification, the award, and then it's no longer about just paying her by the day to come in. They're actually paying for the entire program. And that, again, talking about product brand, the moment you turn your time and you turn it into a package and a product and branded product, it's no longer about your time. In fact, she's now got other people that help her to do this, and this is now, I believe, ready for licensing to bring a couple of trainers on who can then evolve and grow this as well. So, so Jeanette, I'm going to give you a chance to just share whatever's biggest highlight and biggest questions showing up for you right now. Hi, Jeanette.
Hi.
Yeah.
My biggest highlight is that I booked to come to Bali in April. That's my biggest highlight.
Awesome.
I know. And the other highlight was getting a connection with the ladies that you connected, recommended speak to me, Sandy in Las Vegas with her Delivering Happiness gang over there. We've had Skypes every week for the past 4 weeks, and we're actually looking to join together to create a global education brand, incorporating their work with my work, and kind of like businesses where they do, you know, the Ford's top 10 of businesses, most successful businesses and things like that, trying to create a similar idea in the future for schools, so that you know, teachers can say, I want to work there because it's a great school, and parents can say, wow, you know, my school's great for my children, and children can own being in a great school. So that's our vision together. So that's what we've been doing in August while schools are on holiday, really.
That is awesome. That is so cool. And just so everyone knows, Sandy was previously working with Zappos, which is obviously known for, you know, happiness in his culture and his business. And then she basically went from that to, you know, going out and doing something very, very similar to what Jeanette's doing right now. So, and I was talking to them about, like, I was talking to Sandy about the whole Great Places to Work type award, which happens for companies, and to do something similar for schools would be awesome. So I think that is brilliant that that's all moving forward. That's fantastic. Very cool. What questions would you have, Jeanette, at the moment, if any?
I think the biggest thing for me, the biggest learning for me in the second year of being with you is pacing myself. I'm starting to pace myself better, but in the same token, I get a little bit frustrated as well, because I think as a creator, in the initial stages, not everybody works at the same high pace as you do, and so you I don't get cross, but I just get a bit frustrated, and I just wondered, I know I have to be grateful, but I just wondered how you cope with that frustration as you're growing. It's almost like sometimes I'm a seed and I've got super fertilizer and I want to be the flower before I've even grown a stalk.
Okay, awesome. Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. Totally. And that is one of the biggest things going yellow-green, is that you're frustrated because you're trying to get people to fit your expectations. And the big difference of yellow to green is yellow is when you're trying to get people to meet your expectations. Green is when you're finding out what their expectations are, and then you're supporting them to exceed their own expectations, which is a whole different thing. You can't get frustrated by that because it's not about what you want anymore. It's kind of like getting on a bus and go, holy cow, when I was in my car, you know, I go wherever I want. Now on a bus, I got to go where other people want. And it's like, yeah, but that's the point. The bus carries more people, and more people want to go on it because they want to go where they want. So think about that. Yellow level is when you're in your car where you get to decide where you're going to go, but you can't fit many people. You know, a green level is on a bus where you can fit a whole bunch of people, but you've actually got to listen to where they want to go, and you can't just take them where you want to go, right? And that's a really interesting thing. It means even setting the plan for the business means getting together with your partners and others and saying, right, where do you want to take this? And for those of you who have very strong yellow, which is like, but I want to do what I want to do that as your hobby because the business will grow at the end of the day through the pace of other people as opposed to your own pace. And I do that. I do that where all my businesses grow at the pace of the team that's growing it, not the pace I'd like to grow it at. Because in every case, I'd like to grow it much faster, but I know it's never going to grow much faster in the same way, you know, a gardener can't determine how fast the flower's going to grow. They've got to grow at the pace that nature allows it to grow. And if you just want to have more stuff to look at, just grow more stuff, right? So I do that. I always start new things up, but not in a way that disturbs the current one. So have your own little passion project or thing that you can grow at your pace, while what's actually making the money and has the team is growing at the pace that the team can grow it at, which means they're the ones setting the plan, they're the ones coming to the meetings, telling you what to do, they're the ones chairing the meeting, right? So at green level, you don't have to chair any meeting anymore. You don't have to be the one telling people what to do anymore. You're the one showing up and giving mentorship or advice based on what other people are saying they're going to do, and don't take anyone on at green level who isn't telling you the plan of how they're going to improve the business, right? If you're taking people on for a task, you're taking on someone at orange level. And yellow level people tend to take on orange level who will follow a task, whereas green level needs to take on yellow level people who are people who can actually set the plan, which means that you can't be setting the plan and then telling them what to do. You've got to be saying to people, right, if you came on board and you're in charge of this, what would your plan be, right? What would you think you need to achieve? What would you need to make that happen? And if someone can't answer that because they're at orange level, then now's not the right time to bring them on board because there's just going to be more people that you have to manage, right? So always know that we naturally hire down, and if you want to raise yourself up to green level, you've got to actually change the way you're hiring and who you're attracting in to be hiring people who actually now are able to take profit responsibility, know how to make sales, all those kind of things which in the past you had to kind of do yourself. And most yellow people get stuck there because they keep on taking orange level people on and they say no one can do it like me. And it's only because they're actually going to the wrong pool of people, which is why no one can do it like them in the first place, right? So really, really important, you know, as you build your team, to raise the standards of your team, it starts by raising your own standards of yourself, right? In terms of what, you know, if you say, well, what kind of environment would I want to be working in? You know, it's like it would be an environment where I get to report on what I want to do and someone's supporting me to do that. Well, then that's what I'm going to need to do to attract people like me, right? Okay, so with that being said, let's come back to these other points here, and we're coming back first of all to Leslie, who's on the call. Leslie has a company called Colorworks. She's in South Africa, and here is Colorworks, and it has a lot of similarity in some ways with Ramo's company, with Tanaka, and I know, you know, I connected the two of them together as well, in that it is very much around branding, strategic branding experiences, doing some really cool stuff here. Wisdom Forum, Gala Dinner. We've got like a whole bunch of different, you know, clients that Leslie's been working with, and Leslie's pretty much taking this to green level where she doesn't really have to do an awful lot in the business right now. As there may be some comments now. Maybe nope, not there. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a chance, Leslie, to come say hi and share any immediate questions on your side as well. Hi, Leslie. Welcome to the call.
Hi, Roger. So nice to hear your voice again after a little break.
Yeah.
So I have such exciting news, and I'm sure you actually have had something to do with it. So as you say, I'm not really, you know, massively involved on a day-to-day basis with my business anymore. So I'm wanting to be a 30% Black woman-owned business, and I've had a meeting, so we're in legal now, so that deal's going ahead. So I'm really excited about that. But the main news is that I've been invited by Chris Atwood, which I think is in your network, and he's invited me. Well, I had to do a little test, but he's invited me to come to San Francisco to join his book writing course. And so my dream was to write the book Over the Rainbow, the 7 Steps to Helping Entrepreneurs Succeed, and hopefully he's going to really help me achieve that. So I'm really, really excited about that. That should be happening at the end of October, beginning of November. And hopefully, all things being equal, I can then come and spend 15 days at your iLab in November.
Fantastic.
So,
awesome.
That's my plan.
I just put up the website for what Chris does. Chris and Janet, who wrote the Passion Test and had a best-selling book last year again as well, and that we partnered up with and helped me to make my book a bestseller. They run this program, which is a really, really good program. Marcy Shimoff was just with me in the Amazon for 10 days, and she has sold even more books. I mean, she's sold a whole bunch of bestsellers, and so they really know their stuff. They know all the right people. So that's fantastic that you're going to be going on to that, or hopefully going on to that.
Yeah, and hopefully, he also helps you sort of hold your hand for the year after you come on the course and, get it to that best-selling list. And, then we can earn, obviously with living in South Africa at the moment, the challenge is just with the rand dollar and the exchange rate.
Yeah.
So if you can earn, global fund fees, then life gets a bit easier.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Okay, very cool. Brilliant. Any immediate questions at the moment?
So I couldn't get onto the form. I don't have permission. I did try a couple of times. So if I can someone can just give me permission, because I clicked on it and it's I can't get permission. So
okay, what email? What email should we use? Because we can actually. Emails already get
using. Just if they can send it to my Colorworks email address, even though I think they're probably sending it to my Gmail address. I'll have to double check that. Okay.
Colorworks. All right. Okay, Darius, if you can help out on that, that'd be awesome. Okay, cool. All right.
So very exciting.
Yes.
And then my other little bit of exciting news that I quickly want to tell you, because this is quite important for some people to just. My new business is called Over the Rainbow, and it's helping young entrepreneurs. But I've got 4 people working for me, Roger, and I'm not paying any of them. So my message is sometimes you can sell the dream. I mean, not forever, but because they love the concept so much, and the company hasn't launched properly yet, so I don't have the funds to pay them, but they love it so much that they just come to work for me for free. So it's so exciting, and it can be done if you sell the dream.
Very cool. Awesome. Brilliant. Okay. Very, very cool. So I am going to... oh, by the way, any immediate questions that come up, or are you good for now?
Me? No, I'm fine. I really want this course to work, and no, I'm really feeling that I'm moving, through the stages, and I'm feeling confident that I'm on the right journey.
Got it. Awesome. Fantastic. Very cool, Leslie. So, one thing which is really interesting is that, just exactly what I was saying earlier to Jeanette about have a project or something that you can be running alongside the business to really get the creative side out. Well, that's you hear Leslie's doing that, right? She's got her business. She's changing shareholding as she's going. She's got a clear idea of what she wants that business to look and be like, and at the same time, she's got her new venture of getting the book out and going for her own self-education with that as well. And that keeps sometimes your team, especially if you get the right team in place. Well, obviously it's about getting the right team in place. They thank you for not being there every day, right? And like Richard Branson says this. He says the most important thing to do is to get out of the building. Because people always will go, people always want to see who's the most important person in the building. But if you're not in the building, someone else has to become the most important person, right? So who is that person? Who's the go-to person? Because if you're in the building, it's going to be you, right? So the easiest way to actually start getting the team going is to not be there. It doesn't mean abdicating. It just means having the right rhythm in place so that you're checking in once a week or checking in, twice or 3 times a week to begin with. And they're reporting to you and they're solving the problems. And then as they start taking off, effectively it's like the garden growing on its own, right? So remember, as they say, in nature, nothing is rushed and all is accomplished. Isn't that funny how that happens? We always got to feel like we've got to rush everything to get things done. And it's like nature doesn't do that. Okay, 2 final things I'm going to share. So everyone that we see here, we've got, I'm going to start with Tracy because she has a specific promotion thing, which is a yellow thing, and some of you have promotions as well. And then I'm going to get onto all the kind of green level questions on the team and on the rhythm. And you'll see I've put Rambo G3. I'm going to say why that is as well, right? And of course, this does not mean everyone should not be continuing to do your promotions and continue to manage your finance. Of course, you should, but we're going to be just introducing some of these new things around having other people do these things for you. So this is the fundamental difference of not having a to-do list, which is yellow level, to having a not to-do list, right? Which is all things you're not going to do, okay? Because other people are doing them, or they're having enough time. So Carrie Ann and Tim both are not on the call, both had some comments and they put them in here. So Carrie Ann, first of all, I mentioned her at her trading company. Exports, I've joined forces with a trader in Zambia. We'll be supplying South African products to them. We'll hold stock for customers to draw from down from. One customer as opposed to many, but will make life easier. So that's very cool. Or more like one partner, really. Potential supplier second in Zambia as well. So that's really cool. So our questions, X-Force 1, how do I make sure that my business is looked after in this new business model? I'm in fact giving my customer to someone else, right? So this is really at what point, like I talked about this earlier, like what are you trying to build in your own business? What are you going to have partnership with others? And how, how exposed are you when you have a big partnership, which is now going to take, like take someone like Matt's, right? I mean, he's got McDonald's. McDonald's took away all the business at head office level without probably even knowing much about Max at all, because they kind of made that directive. That affected Max's business a lot, right? Now he's working with separate franchisees, so it makes life a lot easier. And he's hoping McDonald's doesn't turn around and change their mind again, right? So how do you actually minimize your risk around that? So that's a good question. And then secondly, how do I really secure my suppliers so that my customer does not go directly to suppliers, right? So, same thing. It's like that person can say, well, you're the middleman, right? So basically it's like, how do I make sure, how do I manage risk? And what about the middleman? Will middlemen all get squeezed out? What do we do around that as well, right? So this is kind of like a G3 as well. So I'll be coming back to answer that question. And the final one is Tim. Before we get into all of this, Tim, as you can see from his notes here, has some questions. First of all, let me tell you who Tim is. Tim is in South Africa. His company, he's the general manager of Sirdar, which was set up by Carl Bates from New Zealand. So, Carl set this company up, went over to South Africa, and it is all about kind of like creating green level companies, right? So it actually helps you set up a board, helps you set up compliance, helps you make sure you know what the value of your business is. So for companies that are kind of going yellow to green, they use Sirdar to help them with all that compliance and like that, right? So that is his business. Sirdar is actually the name of the lead Sherpa when you're climbing Everest or somewhere like that. So it's why it's all about the image of the Student Business Expeditions. They are your Sherpa to climb the mountain. That's the idea. So so here's the business, and here's all the nice graphics. And let me just post that in here. There's Sirdar. Okay. So Tim's question, he has here, well, first of all, highlight building some really great market connections, including Pick and Pay's SME incubator. So that's cool, going for incubators. He's looking for more of these startups. Successful round of events with Real Success Network, which led to 500,000 Rand in annualized revenue. That's about $50,000 US on that. Digital marketing is more organized and traffic is increasing significantly. So that's all grown up, doubled in Facebook likes and so on. Video testimonies loaded on YouTube, first time ever. So all this was all part and parcel of things that we've been talking about in the past. How can we remove or access old Google Map addresses? Really? Okay, that's interesting. Let me post that. So you obviously have an address that isn't meant to be there. That's a very how-to question, but fair enough. So let me just put this in here and put in space here. I will start with that one, right? Because it's such a okay. So Google Maps. I will start with that one so we get that one done. And then next thing is how do I effectively manage out someone in the team that doesn't have the right profile for the role that they're trying to fulfill? Okay, so wrong person. What do you do if you have the wrong person, right? Wrong person in the role, and especially if you want to keep them, that is. And then the final one, what is the most effective way to determine what keywords to use in our SEO strategy? Okay, that's another how-to, right? Another technical. Okay, I'll start with the two how-tos, okay? Why don't I do that? And this is the rest of it is a G1 question. So first of all, for some of you, you're on Google Maps. Like, if we go to something like Vision Villas, Bali, right? Then basically, here it is, right? And it shows up, and it's like pop. And then here it is. Someone's going to get my account, okay. And so you can see, there it is, right? Now, when I click on it, still thinking. Here we go. We can click on it. Here it is, Excel Vision Villas, blah, blah. But generally, and I believe it's on here, if I, let's have a look here. Directions here, what's here? No, that's not the one. Generally, if there is a link, as it is here, there should be somewhere on here. Now I'm not going to find it, am I? There should be somewhere on here which actually allows you to be able to actually report that that you own the place and that you want to change, right? Because someone else actually posted one up here. Look at that. Someone's posted that up there, and that's not us. And it was posted by somebody else and in the wrong place. Yeah, that's good to know. Oh my God. so actually, that's in the right place. This is in the wrong place. Who put this one up here? Okay, now I've got really confused. So to change something on Google Map, normally I'd have it here, and it would normally tell me, oh, I'm not finding it. Okay, so that was a failure. Let me put in here my map contributions. Here we go. Okay, so you see there's a little link that I just clicked on there, right? So when you are going towards to get help, tips and tricks, and you can then basically change location or change location of site. I think that's going to help me give Matt's permission to use your location. How do I set the default location? Say location map. I have to report a data problem. So this one here, how to report a data problem, allows you to go in and actually send feedback and tell them what's the difference, and then they will actually go in there and change it, right? So that's the way to do it, and then that way allows you to shift it and change it, and they are actually really good. They've got a whole team that does all that stuff, right? So they'll actually, go in and manually fix it and change it for you, right? If you want to do that. That's what I'd suggest. Second thing is you're saying in terms of keyword searches, when you're going out towards any keyword search, to be honest, the fastest way to do it is that you actually go out and get yourself a good SEO guy who can actually do the job for you, because he will go in and do keyword analysis. You can do that yourself as well. There's keyword tools which allows you keyword search tools, which when you go in then allows you to actually go, and Google has a keyword search tool which will go straight away. Keyword planner, which will actually say, right, what do people actually use, and will actually go in and actually help you to find out what they are. There's a really good program which is called Marketing Samurai, I think it is, which basically, that's not what it's called. It's called something Samurai. Free Market Samurai, which basically does keyword research and will actually allow you to be able to, this is the one, and will actually allow you to be able to look at any site, and it will tell you for that site what people are keyword searches to get to it, and at the same time what are other ones that are competing with it that are the top for that keyword as well. So it's like it actually does it in reverse. But if you have a good SEO guy, he'll do all the stuff for you. So in fact, one of our Crystal Circle members just posted that, and it was Saeed, who I spoke to yesterday on one of our Crystal Circle calls, and his business is all about helping with SEO, and he posted on here, where is he, Saeed? Here we go. Dear fellow Crystal Circlers, I've got my business going, and I'm doing free, for Crystal Circle members, free analysis of your site. So if you actually get Saeed to help you out, he'll go do an analysis. You can have a look at what it looks like. It's pretty thorough in terms of what he does, but he'll talk it through with you as well and saying what you need to do, what you need to change. So that's what I would say in your case, Tim, right? Okay, that's the technical stuff done. Let's get on to the other bits. Let's start, first of all, with Tracy. Promotion. Well, first of all, US or UK? My question, which is where would you rather be? That really is the question, because wherever you go is the right answer. I mean, like, it isn't like you have one person argue UK is better because it's a market where it's easier to stand out from the noise, but then they'll say, well, US is better because it's actually more internet savvy and there's more people using the internet, so you can actually scale the business much faster. And there's pros and cons to both, right? So it isn't like one's going to be better than the other. We will always be going to path of least resistance where, in what we do, and I choose to go where I want to go because I want to go there, right? So, we've been invited to do events in all sorts of different places. I just don't want to go there and don't have the time to go there. But there's places I do want to go, and so we set it up so we actually have those. So if you want to go to San Diego, I think that's awesome. I don't think you need to think of it like US. I think of it like California, because if you say, right, let's really get going in California, it allows you to do much more targeted Facebook advertising for people to share word of mouth more easily. It doesn't mean you're not doing stuff in the US, just like right now you're doing stuff all over the world. But by knowing that, then saying, right, let's go to San Diego, let's get a warehouse set up there, let's get a target list of people we want to get connected to, or galleries we want to go into in that area, and then that allows you to experiment with a second home and see how that feels, right? And if that excites you, then perfect. That means it's the right decision, right? So always kind of like, put your life front and center and make your decisions from there. And Tracy, with what you're doing, it's going to be successful wherever you go. So it's just a matter of doing it in a way that keeps your flame lit, right? Charity promotion, I would totally go for you choosing, and this could be once a quarter, it could be once a month, choosing a charity where rather than doing what you're doing right now, which is, once in a while, you sell a painting and then you give some money to charity, is go to the charity and saying, hey, when I do a marketing, what I provide is on one hand great art, but what I also provide is a following. And what I also provide is all the digital tools which allow me to get to people around the world who love what I do and they'd like to share it. So I'm choosing you as a charity this month for us to do a auction, right? You could do an online auction for a particular painting where the proceeds are going to go towards a particular charity, and no charity is going to say no to that. And what that allows you to do is a number of things. The first one is it allows people to know that one of the things you do is support charities because you've actually got something that's going out on social media, like put in your bids for this painting with the top amount going towards this charity. Or it doesn't even need to be the auction that way. You could do it almost like a crowdfunding thing, which is like, if you put $10 towards a charity, everyone who puts the money towards this, one of you will actually win the painting. And that way lots of people might put the money in. So you can experiment different ways to do it. But the best thing about a promotion like that is it gets you new likes, it gets you new subscribers, it gets you new people who know your stuff, and people will share a painting that you're actually promoting for a particular charity even more than your normal paintings, because they're going to be sharing. It's like, please share it for other people. It's like, oh, you should be part of this because this, blah, blah, blah. And if you do that and people are sharing around, then everyone gets to know more about what you do. Everyone gets to see this as part of your brand. And of course, that's going to come back in other ways to you as well. So I definitely think you should do that. And that's really leveraging all the value that you have rather than just the fact you're an artist. It's the fact that you've got a following, the fact that you've got these growing social media skills as well, right? So that would be what I'd suggest. And by the way, that same concept, I'd say pretty much for anyone who's doing anything with charity, don't hide. I mean, bring it out there. And of course, you're not over promoting or taking advantage of the fact commercially, but at the end of the day, it is going to come back to you in one form or another. And why not, right? If you're out there doing good stuff, people should know about it, and they should make their buying decisions on the stuff they want from you based on that as well. Okay, so with that being said, let's come to all of our G1s, right? So G1 is this one here, which is establish your enterprise. There is, and some of you might have seen this already, but there is a playbook which is in the link, right? So establish your enterprise. Let me just open up the playbook. Establish your enterprise. Playbook. Playbook, where is it? Where is it? Oh, maybe I didn't write it like that. Okay, hang on a second. Enterprise sheets. Enterprise. Here it is. Emerald sheets. Okay. Here it is. Establish your enterprise. Okay. So this one here is all about like why we end up never going to green, because we say I can't find people like me, or I can't afford good people, or I'm too busy to find and train the right people. And then actually goes through and actually says, right, here's the key things for establishing your enterprise, right? We have 3 successful businesses whose paths we clearly identify with. Like, who are your models? Do you know the models that you're following, right? So, like with our business, we have specific models. Like for the resort, it's all about looking at like a program like Y Combinator, and like we're now running iLabs based on what we learned from others who are doing this, right? With our mentoring, we actually look at the best mentor groups in the world. I joined them. I learned what they did. I saw how I could do it even better. And so that is, again, like saying who are we learning from, so we can do 90% of what already works, and then we can improve it by 10%, right? So 0 to 10, how are you doing on that? With one paragraph pitch that uniquely describes us. You'll notice this is the same as identify your identity for you personally, but now it's at the business level, right? And doing it as a company really makes a big difference, right? So I definitely recommend with all of you to start the quarterly rhythm, where every 3 months you get together with your team and you review what are the promotions for the next 3 months, what does it look like, and you set up your team charter. All of you who are coming to Crystal Circle Conference will be doing this, or the Masters, we do this much more thoroughly there. But in terms of a team charter, this is about being able to actually say in the team charter, who are we, what do we stand for? And you've seen my team charter. In fact, I'll drill down before the end of this call on basically how we've done that with our current Dynamics 3.0 plan, right? But this is our team charter, right? Team charter It's updated every. It's a 1-year plan. So this is our team chart for 2015. It was put together in October last year. We're putting together one for 2016 now. It will start with the paragraph, Entrepreneurs Institute is the world's leading entrepreneur education group, founded by Roger Hamilton, so it links my personal brand to the company. And that's the one paragraph, that's who we are, okay? And what's key about that is once you've got the one paragraph, you can then actually say, describe your enterprise in one powerful enterprise promise. This came up with the team came up with this. Igniting Your Genius is our enterprise promise. Everything we do, whether you're a team member, with your partner, whether you are a customer, is we're focusing at what is your genius and igniting that by the way that we have our tools, we have events, everything's around that, right? It's about personalizing the success towards your own personal flow. So this here is us going through exactly the same process that each of you should be looking at. And if I just come up with this myself, that would be yellow level. But by getting the team together and saying, guys, where do you want our business to be a year from now? What would look ideal? What part would you like to be playing in it? And getting everyone to then share what that would look like allowed us to actually all collaborate together to say what would this look like, and then they're the ones that then own the plan and then grew the plan from there, right? And this allowed us to actually set up, who our market was, who our models. Here's our 3 companies that we actually emulate, and their success becomes our success. And then we also go through what it's going to take in terms of what are success principles, or what we call the condition of success to make that happen, and who's owning each one of them. So if everyone's owning one thing that's really important, then that becomes a sense of pride and ownership in what they're doing. And then we have our product brands, and then we go into the promotions, which I'll share. These are our projects, which I'll share in a moment as well, right? We'll come back to that. But these basically go through the steps. I can keep on going to clear mission, 1-year team charter, promotion schedule. If you have this, you're never asking yourself, am I going too fast or too slow? Should I be doing more? Because you already decided this was going to be my perfect year doing this amount. If I'm already hitting that amount, I shouldn't be trying to double up again. Let me just start thinking about the year after. And the more you're thinking ahead, the easier it gets to not get stressed out that you think you should be doing more. Because we're all overachievers. So the moment success comes, instead of saying, great, we got where we wanted to get to, we tend to think, I must do more. But if, like you're on an aeroplane, if you're at 40,000 feet and that's cruising altitude, don't try going for 80,000 feet. That's dangerous, right? And no one wants to go there anyway. So be really, really clear on what your plan is. And we'll get into how important that is as we go through this right now. But this basically goes through each one of these steps. Okay, so how do I do this? How do I find the businesses? How do I, and it goes through all the worksheets here for you to do as well, right? So that's something that is really super valuable for Green Level to start thinking in that way. But let's now go into the specifics for each of you who are looking at establish your enterprise, which is like, is this business where it's meant to be? Caroline, what I think is, I think you've got a really, really, really great brand or niche with what you're doing with Paralympians. But I think it's great that you're not able to label it Paralympian, right? And the reason for that is that it is a label, okay? I mean, at the end of the day, are people wanting to see these athletes because they're disabled, or are they wanting to see these athletes because they're inspiring, right? And the answer is because they're inspiring, right? So to call it the Inspired to begin with, I think is a really good idea. But if I was you, I would keep it really simple and just call it the Inspired Athlete. Because if you call it the Inspired Athlete, and I don't know, let's have a look to see if other people, I'm sure it's been used already, but let's see, the Inspired Athlete. Inspired Athlete. Interesting, it's not really coming up. No one's using it. Okay, there you go. So domain name registration, GoDaddy, let's see, register.com, and we have a look at the Inspired Athlete and see who owns it or if anyone's selling it. Wow, that's slow. Okay, there it is. The Inspired Athlete. Who's for athlete? Oh gosh, really? It's athlete, isn't it? Okay, athlete, and see what shows up, right? And at the end of the day, websites are actually more important than company names. I mean, you can always have a different trading name, company name, but if you can't get their website domain, that's not going to work, right? But if you've got the Inspired Athlete, and they happen to be Paralympians, that's great, but they are athletes, right? And they've actually overcome more. And who knows? At some point, they may not just be Paralympians. At some point, you may actually find that other athletes are part of it as well, right? So while this one has been taken, you can do a certified offer, so someone's selling it. The inspiredathlete.online is available, and I'm sure there's other ones. Here we go. The inspiredathlete.net, the inspiredathlete.org, right? So, I mean, that straight away is that's your business name, right? Just go for it. That's what I suggest. Or if you come up with something better, then great. But I think that that's really about, you really being clear that what you're doing is not having people just because they're disabled. You're having people because they're inspired and they're athletes. And the question on when to bring in full-time team, let me come back to that in a moment because quite a number of you have that same question, right? In Jamie's case, Jamie, you've already seen a little bit from what I showed with Max, and also just hearing a little bit, like how when you start designing branding, it comes in. I think the most important thing is to remember the brand triangle. The brand triangle basically is between personal brand. So you've got personal brand, you've got which is your brand. You have got your company brand, which you've obviously got. And then product brands is where you get to test things. So the most important thing to start with is to say, right, what would be the problem that I'm looking to solve for manufacturers? And let's say that you say, well, you know what I actually do really well for manufacturers is I allow them to really start thinking nimbly and with the latest technology and with the latest leadership skills specifically for manufacturing companies, for example, right? But the biggest problem for manufacturing companies is that we are moving from an industrial age to a technological age. I'm the one, and people are not always sure, are they moving at the right pace or are they actually upgrading their leadership and systems and processes at the right pace. I come in and basically help them to solve that problem because I basically bridge the bridge between manufacturing and leadership, right? And if you actually take that role and say that's what I do, then you create some kind of a product brand, right? The product brand could be something like the manufacturing edge, right? It could be something like top 100, or top 10, tech-focused or future forward manufacturing company. You choose what it is that you're actually focusing at, but in the same way, you've heard from the likes of Sinead or Tracy, who are creating brands that then people really associate with and connect with. The moment you get really zoomed in on the manufacturing side, and you don't, and the way you started is you started with a separate page, which actually is directly getting people involved because they want to be part of something, right? So, for example, when we said, okay, we want to be going out and getting more entrepreneurs that have businesses as opposed to people just starting business, what do? We started Fast Forward Your Business as a brand, and it was an event that we ran. But Fast Forward Your Business was focusing, and the copy was focused, and everything was focused directly at companies that were looking to know about the future and to future-proof their business, right? So everything we did was designed around that. And my internet has gone super slow. Oh, it's moving now. And so why is that so important? Because then you can test things as you start evolving your own site, right? But changing your own site won't necessarily help because if it's not responsive and not getting people to do stuff, isn't going to work. But this we can then say, on something like this, and you could have something as simple as a guide where you're going to help people by sending them somewhere or telling them about something you're doing, which allows them to be able to download something, for example, right? So, for example, in the case of Fast Forward Your Business, it was to come to a particular event, right? If we take someone like Adam Urbanski, who decided he was going to have a niche as a marketing mentor, right? He has the marketing mentor, which is this site here. Where is it? The marketing mentor is this one here. And he said, okay, well, if I go out to Facebook and tell people that, if they're looking to turn their coaching business into $1 million business, then I'm the person to do it. He used to do that through evergreen webinars. That didn't work anymore. And that was when he's just doing generic, Facebook marketing, things like that. Now he set up the marketing mentors, where you can see here, $1 Million Blueprint, how to turn your coaching to $1 million business. And there's a PDF. You just click here, you download. So it gets all these people coming to this, clicking and downloading, and then they then get a series of emails and messages from him sharing how he can help them and invite them to a consultation. And then on those consultations, he then has his team call them, speak to them, and he's been doing 10 people a month at $10,000 each, so $100,000 a month, $1 million a year, simply by giving someone something of value which is talking directly to their problem, and then giving them a solution, having a conversation with them. And then he's finding that, 1 out of 4 people, 1 out of 5 people decide to book up and be part of his program from what they hear and from the understanding that he and his team are able to share about their business and how they can help them. So people need that kind of attention and their thinking. But if you start with that, I'm not saying that you're going to get your manufacturing companies coming online, but by actually articulating it online means that you've got your message clear. Then you can actually go and actually invite people for a consultation where you're going to go to your top 10, top 20 manufacturing companies you want to work with and go with the very specific call to action and benefit you're giving to manufacturing companies with a product brand that speaks directly to them, right? And that's the way to test it out without having to complicate your company brand or your entire site overhaul, which can take a long time and still not actually give you any feedback, right? So that's what I say in your case there. With Jeremy and Deborah, same question here. So I'm going to come back to this one on contract or add people. And then, yeah, I mean, like talking about niche, right? It's exactly the same thing I just said with Jamie, in terms of you saying, right, getting into a new niche and getting started in that. I think that is as important. And in terms of like getting someone like more on the people side that can actually get out there and market, if you want to do that, that's about getting someone in as a partner, first of all. Trialing someone out on a promotion basis where you're saying, look, we're going to be running a promotion where we're creating this new division for our company, or we're creating this new product for our company. It's going to generate, like just when I did my book, I said, right, it's going to generate $10 million. I'm going to be giving 20% away to whoever wants to be my partner. That's $2 million worth for whoever can help me to make this happen. Who do you know? And straight away, people go, oh, you must speak to such and such. And we've got the whole team to support us based on my vision of what's going to happen and when it's going to happen without any idea of the who and the how. So again, remember, a promotion is your ticket to say, look, I'm heading to the movies, you want to come with me? Or I'm heading to LA, do you want to fly with me? And that's how airplanes get filled up. It's how buses get filled up. It's like, here's the plan of where we're going to go. It's like knowing that the top of the square is the what, the bottom is the when. That's the arrow. You just have to say, here's what I'm going to do and here's when I'm going to do it, without needing to know the who or the how. And if you have the what and the when first, then the who and the how, which is the bow, shows up for the arrow, right? The left and right, the who and the how. A lot of us say, I don't know who to get, or I don't know how to get them. Or I never attract the right who, or I never attract the right how. It's because they never got explicit about the what and the when. But when you create the arrow, then the bow shows up, right? And that's just always the case, as long as you're pointing at the right why, which is your target. So do think about that. It's like, right, if I'm going to look for a good person, and if Tracy was looking for a good person in America who's going to help her, then she'd be saying, right, we're going to be running a promotion in America, we're going to be setting up a program, we're going to be looking to make $100,000, whatever it is. I'm looking for a partner who'd be willing to share in the profits that we make from this. That becomes a conversation where people then share with people, and the right person then shows up because they know what you're looking to achieve, and they believe they can help you to achieve it, right? So it's super important. At the end of the day, whereas at green level, a promotion plan is the way for you to make money, right? Green, at the yellow level, promotion plan is you making money. At green level, it's about the promotion plan making other people money. Of course, it makes you money as well, but your main thinking is not how can I make money. Your main question is how can I help other people make money? Because that's how you attract other people, right? And that's why yellow people never attract a lot of others, because they're always thinking about how they make the money. Green is your promotion plan is now how do I make other people make the money, and then those people will show up. So think about like how big you want it to be and go down that line. Now that links to something which I'm going to get onto in a bit, which is the rhythm side, which is how much is enough, right? At what point do you say enough is enough, as opposed to should I do more? The two of you had that question, by the way. One of you is like, how do I get the people to do the stuff I need to do? The other one is like, should we even be doing this stuff, right? Or should we have systems or other things in place as well? That comes down to team charter, right? When is enough enough? In the team charter, and I'll show that with the promo, when is enough enough, we decide ahead of time when enough is enough. We say, this is our target. If we hit our target early, that doesn't give us extra money, it gives us extra time. If you hit your target for the month in the first week, it doesn't mean go rushing around trying to get triple the business when your business isn't set up to take triple the business, because you would have set the business up based on how much you said you were going to do. And so if you're in a situation like, oh my gosh, we can do all this extra business, failure is not chasing all that business. Restructure your thinking to say, well, of course we can do all this extra business, but failure would be taking that business because we never said we wanted that business in the first place. Create a waiting list, create a queue. Say, look, we're only going to take this many people in. All the most successful nightclubs are the ones that have the longest queues because they're saying we're not going to take everybody. And we might even change our pricing, or we might say come back next year. But then you're always going to have this demand of people coming your way, and you're going to make profit. If you keep chasing all the money, then you're going to keep on having to upsize yourself on the fly, and that is not a good way to run a business, and it also totally burns everyone out, right? So say, what's enough for this next 3 months to the end of the year? What's going to be our number for 2016? How many people does that mean? Go to your existing clients, saying, next year we're only going to take on this many clients. We're going to be set up to this size. If you'd like to come work with us, tell us now, so that we make sure we don't, kind of like overbook ourselves. And once that's happened, it's done, right? You might have seen this Chris Circle conference. We just said to everyone, it's finished, it's closed, because we said we've only got so much space. Once it's full, and it's not a failure to be turning people away. In fact, that's a good thing to be doing to make sure that you actually are able to then deliver for the people that actually do show up, right? So really, really important. When enough is all about knowing how you can define failure, and it's not about chasing everything. And that's one of the most difficult things for yellow level to get, because yellow level is like, geez, if it's coming, I should take it, right? No, like you just follow where you. And by the way, all the multinational companies, they all are judged by how accurate they are at meeting their forecast, right? And actually saying, here's our estimate quarter by quarter. Here's what we actually did. And if they're too much above forecast, it plays havoc with their stock price. If they're too low and they don't hit their target, they're not able to predict, well, then their market share goes down, their market value goes down. But if they're too much, then everyone stops believing what they say anyway, right? And then they end up basically, analysts will give their own prediction, which is different from management, to say, oh, they'll do much bigger, much better, and then you're actually screwed, because then when you don't do better, even if you meet your forecast, your share price goes down, right? So I'm not saying share price is what it's all about, but understanding that people will always get attracted to whoever can predict most accurately, and the best way is to know you're going to hit something, hit it, and then not try and improve it or go further, but revise your numbers and your planning and your team for the following year, which gives you plenty of time then to set up the capacity for that as well, right? Okay, so with that being said, let's come over to Sarah. Okay, so Sarah also had kind of a green level one around herself. It's like a star in a business. What could a star be doing? I'm secondary star, so I do my star thing with my YouTube channel, right? I kind of like have a win. If you do something simple like that, where you're doing something which actually is an interview, or something which is, in my case, basically just sharing some knowledge, it builds so much trust. It allows you to really magnify, right? Like every one of our, now I think generally on our YouTube channel, when we have a a video coming out, it's getting anywhere from 5 to 10,000 or 5 to 15,000 people watching. That's a lot more people than I can reach in an average week if I'm just basically going to events or and I don't have to do any of that, because people can then connect with me this way. And it's really interesting. We're running this program at the moment here in Vision Villas, which is a perfect example for someone like Jamie, or for a number of you who are actually looking to experiment a new niche, which came about as a result of a conversation I had with someone called Peng Ong, who's here right now. So Peng Ong set up Monksville. Here, let me just show you. Peng Ong, Monks Hill is, here's his business. Last year, he raised $80 million US for his venture capital company. He moved to Jakarta to invest in Indonesian startups. Found that it was really difficult because they weren't investable yet. They needed coaching, they needed mentoring. There was no mentoring program to help them. And he also had a whole bunch of people who were venture capital companies just like him, who wanted to mentor but didn't know how to do it. So he got with me and said, hey, can we do something around this? I said, sure we can. And we're now running something this weekend with 10 of the top fast-growing Indonesian companies. They're all tech companies. They're all going up to 1 million+ users on their apps or on their software, and then also 10 venture capital or investors, guys who are coming in to learn how to mentor, how to coach, and how to be coached. And we're doing this over a 3-day program. I think I posted up here as well. But the great thing about something like that is we don't know exactly where it's all going to lead, right? We don't know exactly how big it's going to get, but we're already talking about the possibility of the next one. But we said, let's do an event, let's get the people together that we want to serve, and let's really support them in a way where everyone signed up based. This is it here. Everyone signed up based on the intention of what it was, which was, let's create a coaching ecosystem for startups in Indonesia, which allows investment capital to be better invested and allows companies to have a better chance of success. And who can say no to that, right? That's the target. And then we say, we don't even have the what necessarily. We know the big what and the when, but if the who and the how show up, the who shows up, they'll create the how, right? So we're going to actually create as we go this program this weekend. And people will buy into something not based on your product, they'll buy into something based on the problem that you're looking to solve. right? So super duper important. Define the problem you're going to solve, make the promise you're going to solve it, and then get people to help you to solve it, right? And if they don't think that's a problem that they've got, well, then you're probably on the wrong track to begin with, right? The product comes later after you actually have someone already bought into the fact you're going to solve the problem for them, and they believe you, right? So remember, people do not care what you think until they think that you care. And that comes not by you telling them what you're doing. It comes from asking them what it is that they need. And that's always going to be the first step in the new niche that you're creating as well. And for your entire business, right? Getting with your team and saying, guys, where do you want to be next year? What do you want to achieve in your life? Use things like the passion test to say, how can we allow you to live your passions more? Use the profiling to say, how can we help you get in your flow more? So the whole business is like a bus. It's a vehicle for them to realize their dreams as opposed to them just realizing your dreams. And the only way that can happen is you know what their dreams are. So have that conversation with them as well. So in the case of something like this, getting with your team, Sarah, and saying, right, so for me to really magnify my brand in a way that helps the whole company, well, how could I shine light most effectively? What do you guys think? Some people there will have ways that they'll actually help you to do that in your own team, right? And similarly, on the tempo blind spots, you won't spot them. They will be on service. They will be on the small detail. They will be on scheduling. Those are all the areas that tend to fall over when you don't have someone looking at the smaller detail. But if you have a team that gets together to say, if we were going to improve what we're doing in a year's time, what would look different? And the very best way to really find out on the tempo side where you're falling down is to go to some of your best customers and ask them. Say, where could we really improve? Where are the small things that what do we really like about what we're doing? Where would you really like to see most improvement? What would make you want to do more business with us? They'll tell you, right? Your best customers will always tell you that, but we don't have those kind of conversations often enough. So go ahead, have those, and that really will transform things, I believe. And then this final thing, profile yellow to green, what's the difference? A star at yellow level is tending to shine a light on their own stuff, or maybe on one or two partner stuff, right? A star at green level is no longer someone who is shining their light. It's someone who's creating a platform for other people to shine their light. Okay, so for example, Oprah, who goes green level, is saying, well, I'll create the Oprah Winfrey Network where lots of people can shine their light. A creator at yellow level creates their own stuff. A creator at green level creates the space for other people to create their stuff. Steve Jobs did not create the iPhone, did not create the iPad. He created the environment for other people to come in and think, this is the best place for me to be creative, and then they created all that stuff, right? The deal maker creates the deal-making environment for all the deals to happen. They don't have to be doing all the deals anymore. So think about it that way around, that you're actually attracting others who want to shine their light. You're attracting a space for others to shine their light, where it's no longer about you having to do it, but you know intuitively how to do it because you're a star, right? Same for creators and so on. So think about that. One of them is like being the footballer. The other one is actually owning the pitch for other people to play football. And then let's get on to green 2, right? So green 2 is all about refining your rhythm. So in Jeanette's case, she's like, holy cow, what do I do if, like, I want to move faster? Well, if you have that conversation with your partners, have that conversation around, what we want this to look like, what would be the right size, how much would you be earning, how much would I be earning, how many customers would we have, and you map that out and you just put it all on the wall. Use big Post-it notes is what we do. We put it all up and say, here's what it will look like different in a year's time. And then we say, would that be our perfect world, right? We'll be happy with that. And the answer is yes, we would. It's like, great. Then what's the minimum amount of time needed by me to make all this happen, right? And what could other people do that would make it more valuable? And then look at your own time and go, wow, that's 3 days of my week, right? What am I going to go 2 days? It's like, well, maybe I'll do another project or I'll do something extra that's going to, burn up all my creative energy. But by doing it that way around, it's so much better because it means you're not constantly uprooting your own business. It's like planting the seed and then pulling it up while the roots are growing to see how the roots are and wondering why the whole thing dies, right? So the only way is to not keep over-creating your business. Don't use your business as basically the punch bag for your own creativity, but take it out on your hobbies or take it out in one specific area and be very, very good and measure the business to say, if you ask yourself in business today, not is it meeting my expectations, but if you're asking your business today, is it meeting the expectations of my team? Is it meeting the expectations of my customer? That's not even about your expectation anymore, right? You got to find out, well, what is your team's expectation? Or what are you going to set it as for next year? What is your customer's expectation? How can you exceed that? And that's the difference of going from expanding, which is how do I grow it, to enhancing, which is how do I make it better, right? Expanding will create revenues, but not necessarily profit. Enhancing will just improve your profits, right? Because it basically makes what you're doing more valuable, more attractive. More people are willing to come in and be a part of it. And that creative energy can be used in enhancing things as opposed to expanding things, and you're going into the detail to make it even better and make it even better, right? So with that being said, that's about pacing, right? And it's about you saying, right, every week, what are we checking in on? What's the team reporting on? What did we say we were going to do? Did they do it? And if they didn't do it, what's their solution for it? And how can I help them to be even better at what they're doing, as opposed to how can I help them to, to help me? And same thing in Max's case, prioritizing. It is about you saying, right, next 3 months, how much is enough? And be okay telling people you're not going to be able to take on more right now. There's people who wait, and you can book them in for next year already. And then also say your hiring decisions. Aim for all your hiring decisions to already be decided for next year, quarter by quarter, and never rush into trying to fill something over the next 3 months, right? Say, hey, look, if we can't take more business on, we don't have people right now, better to hire slowly and fire fast than hire fast and then end up with the wrong people, right? So if it's like, oh, geez, we could take all this extra business on, how do we do that? It's like, well, what if we didn't do that for 3 months? What if we really just improved and grew what we're doing? We're making money already. We bring this extra business on in January. We then get a team to help us to do that. I go out and I share already who would like to help me to do this, because we're going to do this for this particular market or this particular size. Set it up properly, get them online, and then you're really basically, again, getting things ready. So all the promotions I'm running on are promotions for the future, as opposed to ones that are happening right now. We plan them out in advance, and I'll give you an example of that in a moment in terms of how we do that. And then the weekly schedule, set it up so that every week this is the day I'm going to do my meetings. I've got like business development, I'm going to do 40%, not 20%. It's going to be Thursday and Friday. Thursday, Friday, I do no delivery. Thursday, Friday, I do no email. Thursday, Friday, I'm on the phone or I'm out there meeting with people, and I'm getting the right team in place. And once you put the time aside for it, it will start to happen, right? And all of you know I've got the process I use where every day is a different energy. So you can go and have a look at that on Genius U, and that's really a worthwhile way for you to organize your time to make sure it's really working for you, right? And the final thing, synchronize your steps. This is what I'm going to get onto right now. Ramo, like seasonality. Ramo will always think that it's time for innovation because you're a creator, right? So it's like, I can see your opportunity. The truth is, when it comes to digital marketing and branding, it is actually in winter in itself. But new systems, new apps, new technology is in spring. So you're always going to find spring arising from winter. That's just what happens with seasons. So what you need to do is you need to have a team that's looking after the current business and making sure it's as profitable as possible, and you're keeping the customers. And then you have to have something called a skunk works, which is something that Peter Diamandis talks about, which is basically, I'll give you the article, basically a little brainstorm team, which is working outside of the existing team to basically create the next disruption, right? It's basically, so this is what like Google does right now with Google X. They'll have a group of people who aren't in the same culture, who aren't. The secret to creating a killer skunk works, disrupting yourself. Here it is. Have a look at this article here. But if you were to say, Ramo, if you were to say, right, okay, I only spend like a day a week managing my business. The rest of the time, I'm going to go out there and create the next big thing, and I'll have a small team doing it with me, and we're not going to disturb the people in the company with all the stuff that we're going to do. So this is a good story about where the word skunk works comes from, and how it actually goes about a different way of thinking to really disrupt everything. And if you assume that your existing business will be disrupted, it will be disrupted. The only question is it someone else who's going to disrupt it, or is it you who's going to disrupt it, right? So you might as well make it yourself, and then that's really what allows you to change everything, okay? So let me just come back to this. And then final thing here is this is fun. That was what I just showed there, right? That was Suraj, where we have we have a whole culture in our company about being genius ninjas, and we have got a page called Genius Ninjas, which is all our team from all around the world. And here's Suraj, he's actually got this whole, this quarterly rhythm we do. All our project managers, like Suraj manages Genius U, does the same thing with their team. So he's got like 12 people in India on our development team. They're all going through the same process we go through, so the whole thing cascades down, and then we get to hear about it and see what they're up to and what they're doing, which is super cool. And when you see your teams all doing this, where they're setting their expectations, they're saying what they can do, there's no pressure on me to try and get them to do what I want to do, right? I'm just really happy that they're growing the thing without me, and that I can actually nurture it and grow it in a way that I know is going to continue to evolve and grow as well, right? And criteria for CEO, in your case, I would say you actually want to find someone who's a supporter profile that can actually oversee your business and can continue to do what you've set up. Because if you try and find someone who's going to innovate and grow, it's the wrong person. That's what you should be doing, right? So definitely find a supporter profile that can come on board and do that job. And all of our companies, like Suraj is a supporter profile, Michelle's a supporter profile, they're all run by supporter profiles. And then we have a holding company which is run by Sandra, and Sandra's law profile. So she then makes sure everything's going to the financial details and everything's got the right process, which then supports the supporter really, really well. And then finally, with Carrie-Anne, yeah, I mean, like, even just what we were just talking about in terms of with partnership, it's great to have a partner, but you heard the story with Max. The most important thing is to always look at your partnerships as your bonus. Don't rely on it. So it's great that it's happening, but you've still got to be saying, but how do I make sure that I'm synchronizing with the customer? So how does someone who's now got, like, how do you do that? How does Apple do it? Apple sells a lot of product not through themselves, but through resellers, right? But the way they do it is that once you open your Apple product, you've got to register it with Apple. So Apple still knows who you are, right? How do we do it with Wealth Dynamics? Well, like, lots of people sell Wealth Dynamics, but they've got to come to our site to take the test, and then we get their details. So you definitely want to put something in your product or on your products which allows you to start collecting people's details. It could be something as simple as a competition that you're running where people can get, like, some extra free stuff or a discount. It could be something where they get, like, the latest information and news on more products. And it isn't something that you're expecting everyone to be a part of, but by doing something which allows you to start building up a customer base and building a brand around what you do, it means that even if that partner falls over, people will still be looking for your brand, right? They'll still be looking for that. And it could even be something like a seal, a stamp, which is from your company that people just know is a Katenga Quality Award, something like that, which allows people to say, that's what I want. And then that allows you, just like Intel Inside, Intel is massive business and it doesn't sell its own computers. It actually has a chip that everyone wants, or everyone wanted in the PC days. And because they wanted that, because of the brand and because of the way it connected, that made all the difference as well, right? So with that being said, let me just show you as a final thing, and I'll give everyone a chance to share whatever's the biggest thing from this call. Let me show you the drill down of green level being knowing how to do a promotion, yellow level is do a promotion, fly a plane. Green level is now have multiple planes own the airport, right? So green level is like you've got all the planes coming and going, but it still is all about knowing how a plane takes off and lands, right? How a promotion works. So within our business, like I was just showing on the team charter, we have got different promotions that are running. Each of them are $1 million promotions in different areas, whether the events that Penny's doing. So if you're coming to either South Africa, where we're coming soon, I think we've already got like 700 people coming for that. We've got 1,000 coming for London, or even Thailand. If you want to come to Thailand, we've got another 700 coming for that as well. These big events are all happening. It's Penny who put all those together, and she's generating $2 million from that, just for those events. We've got, Suraj is doing his Genius U side. We've got this new one, Dynamics 3.0, which we launched with Michelle. So that's when we wanted to test, and we have a promotion to test how can we do an online promotion that can make $400,000. We designed that promotion up. We put it all together here. This was planned out way back in May for July, August, September, which is now we're rolling it through. So no point of any of us saying, how do we get more people? How do we do more stuff? Because we decided back then when enough is enough. So setting that in advance allows us to then just move into this totally stress-free. All we're doing is testing, can we actually achieve what we said we were going to achieve? And we're testing new things out. We've got financial objectives, $400,000 in online promotion in August. We've got like development objectives, which is like having all our new reports, which you're all going to get when it launches. We've got learning objectives, which is how do we actually set up an online campaign during Genius U. And that allowed us to actually transform Genius U itself. So Genius U now looks very different if you go to it today compared to a month ago. It allowed us to actually create all the new reports. It allowed us to test all of our partnership models as well. We track all of it on Basecamp. So on Basecamp, we can actually see everything going on. So I don't have to be worried about it because I've got the likes of Michelle overseeing it. So here's now Genius U. It looks very, very different from what it looked like before. It's looking really nice. And it all works really well on mobile. So you can kind of come smaller and see what it looks like there, that kind of thing. And off the back of that, the tracking allows us, so we actually on Basecamp will go into a program like, this is where we do our tracking. So whether you use Slack or whether you use Basecamp, and here's Dynamics 3.0 where I can see everything happening in it without having to be on any of the calls or any of that. We've got here, pre-launch day emails. We've got, all of the sales team briefings, and we're testing as we go with weekly numbers where Michelle just checks in and says, here's the numbers right now. we were aiming for 500 and we got like 560 people buying. We were aiming for 200 partners, we got like 800. And what's so great about this is that we can see like what is it in terms of we're at 189,000 halfway through the campaign, so we're on track. And this for me is what Green Level feels like. I'm not there thinking, geez, I wish they'd do more, because they're learning as they're going, they're sharing it. I'm able to add value where I can, and that's really what the Emerald Circle is all about. It's about how do you get to a point where you are able to achieve all your dreams by helping other people achieve their dreams. And the only way to do that is to revamp and rethink the way that you're running the business, because the winning formula to go to where you are right now, which is to be the main driver, as effectively the lead singer or the lead guitarist, now needs to switch where you're now at the back of the stage. You're the drummer, you're creating the rhythm, and you're letting other people basically come to the front and to be making money and to be achieving things they want to achieve as well. Wow, guys, we covered a lot on this call. And I'm going to give everyone a chance to share whatever's biggest thing that came up for you from the call. We'll go back in the same order we just went through. So we're going to start with Caroline. Caroline, what would be the biggest thing for you?
Hey, Roger, brilliant call, thank you very much. Number one, I'm delighted that you think the inspired athlete's the way to go, because that was kind of in my mind, so thank you so much for that. And the biggest learning for me is being a star at yellow level to being a star at green level, and how I need to shift in my development to make that happen.
And it's kind of interesting. This is kind of what you're doing a little bit with the whole Paralympian thing as well, which is really cool. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Very cool.
Brilliant. Thank you, Caroline. Jamie, how about for you?
Would be the creating the product to test the niche and creating a one-page site. That certainly gives me direction to move forward with that. The manufacturing niche.
Fantastic, brilliant, very, very cool, and it's a great niche from where you are as well. So I think you're going to be inundated with work once you turn that one on. Jeremy, how about you?
It is. Thank you, Roger. It is. Today, actually, I met a bookkeeper who is in startup mode, who loves systems and is looking to niche herself. We actually thought that would be a really good way to get her in to maybe help us with some of our workload at the moment while she builds up her business. We can partner with her because it also matches some of the systems work that we do, because she has really real interest in that. So that could be the ongoing relationship after she helps us get over this hump.
Cool. Awesome. Very cool. Brilliant. Yeah, once you start thinking this way, it's pretty quick. That's fine. We've actually got those people around us already. That's awesome. Leslie, how about you?
Hi, Roger. So I have 3 takeouts. My first one is get out of the building, create space for others to shine. Love that. Expanding versus enhancing. I thought that was very beneficial. Yeah, not about more people, more profit. And then my third one about budgeting properly. Get as close to, what we say we're going to do, and don't try and overshoot it, because you'll just actually end up burning out. So I really like that. Thank you.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's always going to be a marriage between revenue and resources, right? And so and resources take more time to bring in than revenue, to be honest. So if you bring in revenue and then you don't have the resources, then it's a nightmare for everybody. Plan out revenue and resources alongside each other, and then you're off and rolling. Lillian, you might want to pop in your comment, biggest learning in the questions, just because we can't hear you right now, but that would be awesome. And we'll come over to Max next. Hey, Max.
Hi. What was great was to hear that it's good to say enough is enough. I've had years where I haven't had enough, and now that I've got too much, it's I thought I had to take it all, and it was good to be reminded, no, I don't have to.
Very, very cool.
And I like the idea of getting the resources in advance, and now being more focused on asking what their plan is, rather than me having to come up with it all. So I think that's great. It's just that reminder of it. Yeah, green is quite different to yellow thinking.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very cool. And it's a different way you recruit people as well. Because if you recruit someone and say, hey, like if you were to come on board, what would you do to make a difference? You'll notice very quickly who you shouldn't be taking on. The guys who go, I have no idea. What do you think I should do? As opposed to those who go, well, here's what I do, here's how I do it. Those are the people you really want. And I just talking about enough is enough. This video was all about that. When I was in the rainforest, it was all about how we have this illusion that more is better, and we just got to have more. And growth is good, right? I mean, nature bases it on growth, but only enough growth that there's no waste. and no stress, right? So what is that actual energy? What is that all about? If you haven't had a look at that episode, I recommend it because it's a philosophy for life as well as the best way to run a business as you grow it. Ramo, how about you?
Wow, Roger, so much. I think outside of the very specific answers you've given to my questions, and I absolutely agree that a skunkworks approach feels intuitively right. Thanks for the input on the CEO. Again, it feels intuitively right. A bigger, more general takeaway from me was your analogy about the bus. That a green level business like a bus should help people get to where they want to be. Love that. Thanks, Roger. Awesome stuff.
Very cool. Thank you, Ramo. All right, let's come over to Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Hi, thanks Roger, awesome call. I'm like many others, the yellow to green thinking is really blowing my mind, expanding to enhancing, and the other thing was trialing someone on a promotion basis. I really like that.
Awesome, very cool, very cool. The great thing about promotions, once you're running them, you can't fail because you're either earning or learning, right? It's like you're either making the money or you've learned something along the way, and it's going to allow you to make the money more easily next time. And it's all about predictability, right? You're just getting better and better at guessing what's going to happen and then making it happen. And then Jeanette.
Hi, I think I just need to distribute my super fertilizer more evenly in the soil and grow gradually. I think you're right. I think I probably need to get some more hobbies. I think I need to expand and probably stop annoying my team really and let them and trust them. I think to get on with it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's one of the biggest things. Like if you're checking in once a week with the team and they've said what they're going to do, and then you give them a week to do it, it's pretty amazing once you do that, how you don't ever really need to be doing anything more than that, and you don't have to worry about it so much. And keep, as a therapy for everybody, when you're going through this process, keep a journal of things where it's like, instead of disturbing people and saying, what's happening here, what's going on with that, write it down, say, this can wait until next week, I'll ask them at the team meeting, but I'm going to make a note of it so at least I've got it down. And if you go down that route, then it means it's all out of your head, you're not bothering people, they can get on the stuff, they can check in when they need to check in and get your advice when they need it. But most of the time, we become the biggest bottleneck within our company as it grows. So just being aware of that is a very cool thing. And it's what allowed us to get to our winning formula. Now is the losing formula. And that's why just having you all on this Emerald call is so cool, because you're all going through that transition right now. And we're going to see some super growth and some super awesome businesses evolve. I mean, we've all got great businesses already, but how they're going to evolve in this next year is going to be super exciting to watch. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I will see any of you who are coming along for our events on the 14th of September, which is a Tuesday. We're going to be running in London our Fast Forward Crystal Circle meet, where I'm going to be talking more about the wealth vectors, the cards. So if you can be there, that'll be awesome. We'll also live stream it, so if you can't, you can watch it online. And that's going to be a really good one for Green Level, because it's all about how you start really tuning into your team members and your customers, using the profiling, using the wealth vector cards as well. So we've got that coming up, which is awesome. So thanks a lot, guys, and congrats on all the progress. Really, really good to catch up again after a month's break, and really looking forward to seeing how it all evolves in the next month. Thanks, and we'll catch up later. Bye.